We think too much and feel too little.
God's German here wants to dock the country. Oblige him.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
What did they put in your kibble this morning?
Yo, Adrian, let me rock you.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
Why so serious?
This is the guy behind the guy behind the guy.
Using his vast knowledge of history and politics, we start our day off right with motivational speaker Richard Battle.
I love having Richard Battle on the program, kickstart our Wednesdays. Mr. Battle, how are you, my friend?
Good morning, Al. Thank you for letting us lead off again today.
Not a problem. Permission to share personal information between you and I, our relationship. Okay. Is that fair?
Oh, well, you got the button.
That's a very good point. That's a great point. One of the things I love about having you on the program, not just I love having you on the show, but you're old school like me. So you always show up 5 minutes beforehand, right? Five to the top of the hour. That gives us about 9 minutes. Make sure everything's working right. I have many guests, and I'm going to rip the hard-headed sports guys. Young kids, they literally show up with 30 seconds before we go on the air. I have no clue if they're going to be there, but then they pop on. But that's good news, bad news. Because the good news is we get to talk about other things, and that's what's the problem with this radio show. My wife always said, what happened about those things in between? The stuff you and I talk about before we get to on the air, someday I should just push record and then throw it out there, because I think people would laugh. You're hilarious. A personal note, one thing that I have done, I don't know if anybody even cares, but I try very hard to push a thank you out to everybody who comes on my show, right? After the show's done. As soon as we get done, I put a little thing, hey, thanks, that was fun, whatever, and I send it off just to let people know that I do appreciate when you're on the air. Well, you have a similar issue in your life, and I presume you do this with all the radio guys you're on, is you send a nice thank you out. Thanks for having me on the show, right? Have you been doing that your whole career, right? Because that's who you are. Okay. I didn't know we were in a competition about setting those out. So as soon as you get off the air, I'll push the stop the record button, and then I'll send my thank you out. And a lot of times I already have gotten one from you. I'm like, man, that he's on top of it. So this morning, we're getting ready to go, and a thank you note shows up, and you haven't been on yet. You pre-wrote your thank you note, and I think that's cheating. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think it shows kind of the prep work you do, but you thank me for being on and then hit the go button before we ever got on. I love that idea. I should send out pre-thank yous. That could be a new category.
It's a secret of success, is being prepared.
And you are. God, I was laughing so hard. I'm like, holy Hannah, he just sent me a thank you note. And I thought, was that from last week? Oh, anyway, thank you for being here. I like
another one today.
Yes, especially after I shared that on air. Big week for you. But I thank you. I appreciate the relationship. It's just funny. You and I have never met in person. I mean, it's always been through the Zoom, but we've been doing this for years, and I absolutely find you hilarious. I really do. Big week for you. I mean, I presume, I ain't saying it's like having a baby, because every time you do that, my wife gets really mad. How would you know? You don't have no idea. But you had another baby come out this week. I saw the cover anyway. I saw that the book is, in somebody's hands. Is it on the way out, the next book?
Well, AmeriCANS, Who Made America, the 19th Century Growth, Division, and Reunification, is announced. It's going to be June 10th release. So we sent out a coming soon email. And shortly we will be sending out accepting pre-orders at Amazon email for this second volume of the AmeriCANS series.
Inside Baseball, what does that feel like? Now this is your 12th book. 12th. Is it old hat that you just know it's coming, it's there, or is there some sort of relief? And your problem, I think, with this is I can see more coming. 19th there, I'll go, God, there's a 20th century, I got to get on that, and then there's a 20, is it just it's in the process, or do you get some moment of relief?
Well, there's no relief. There's always something to be worried about with the one coming. I talk about them in numbers like you would children. This is 12, and I'm already working on the next one.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm talking about the one that's out, preparing for the next one, and writing the one after that. 3 at one time that I'm involved with. So sometimes I get a little mixed up on what's in which one.
Well, congratulations, because it looks fantastic. I'm excited about it when we can get talking about it. But it's great. I'm excited for you. I saw that on the Facebook or something. I don't know where I saw it, but I saw the cover and it looks fantastic. We have lots. Before we talk, see, this is where we should spend more time ahead of time talking about it. I know what you want to talk about. I saw what you wanted to talk about, and fine if you want to, but I don't want to. I want to right now. I want people to know about your Battle Line newsletter. Can we talk about the Battle Line?
Well, absolutely. So once a month, I put out absolutely complimentary a newsletter, and in there, I celebrate the AmeriCAN spirit. So I'll have a monthly theme.
Mm-hmm.
This month was Overcomer, and I wrote about a gentleman named Bill Porter. Excerpted him from what I'd written in one of my books, The Four-Letter Word That Builds Character, and then I have birthdays and things that happened during the month, and then I have quotes, motivational quotes, and then I have my commercial enterprises of books that are available, etc.
Yeah, but you can get the letter by, I presume, going to richardbattle.com. It struck me, and I get it. I've been getting it for a while, and I presume you signed me up for it. Thank you, by the way. But like this Bill, the Bill guy who wrote about the salesman, the door-to-door salesman, is just the most motivational thing you're going to read this week. I don't care who you are. You read this, you're going to say, I want to be more like Bill. I love the newsletter. Not that I haven't before, but this one stuck out to me like nobody's business. I just wanted people to know about it is all.
Well, I appreciate that. And if they email me, richard@richardbattle.com, we're happy to add them to the list and send it out each month. No cost.
Yeah.
You can desubscribe anytime you like.
This Battle Line was top notch. That's all I'm going to say. I thought that thing about Bill was over the top. All right, talk about the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic this week.
Well, that's the old 3 R's, and so
that's the one I knew.
I wrote an essay which is included in Navigating Life's Journey, one of my previous books, talking about the 3 new R's of success. Okay. And that's what I wanted to talk about because it's resilience in failure, resourcefulness in identifying and adapting to new ideas, and a relentless pursuit of our dreams. And that's the 3 new R's, I think, of success. And I thought it'd be nice to talk about that since there's so much talk about the Department of Education and how we're going to educate our kids going forward.
Let's do that. I want to go to break early so we can hit all 3 on the other side and not bust them up. Fair enough. It's Richard Battle. He wrote the book, of course, that we're hawking today, Americans Who Made America, 18th Century Birth of the Republic. Pick it up today. The 19th century is coming out soon. We'll talk about that as well. Much more coming up.
Special interests are represented in St. Paul. But who speaks for you? Center of the American Experiment does. Our policy fellows dig into the tough issues that matter to you and offer common sense solutions on education, taxes, crime, and energy. American Experiment is the trusted, nonpartisan voice of Minnesotans like you. We are working every day to make Minnesota a better, safer, more prosperous place. We are American Experiment. Go to americanexperiment.org to learn more.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
You don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on The Al Travis Show.
We've got him, Richard Battle. He wrote the book Navigating Life's Journey, and that's kind of the section we're talking about today. You want to look this book up, too, Common Sense in Uncommon Times. We're talking about 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. That's old school. He's rewritten the thing. Richard, tell us about your 3 R's for today.
Well, we're all going to fall short and suffer discouragement in our lives. The culture and the media perpetuates that. And so the three new R's today is resilience and failure, resourcefulness and identifying and adopting new ideas, and relentless pursuit of our dreams. And so that's what we need to know to succeed. And so we're all going to fall short, and we only fail when we quit. And if we look at successful people, every super successful people you can see has overcome failures in their lives because of these 3 R's and become super successful. And so if we quit, we're doomed to failure. But if we persevere, we will overcome that failure and become better than we were previously.
Sure, love that. If you give up, guess what? You're done. You don't give up, you still got a chance to win the game. I love that.
And regret. Regret from not pursuing our dreams is more painful and lasts longer than the pain of failure. And so a lot of times people won't try to do something because they're afraid that they can't make it, or it won't work, or something else. And then later they have this regret that stays with you all of your life. And my greatest regrets are things that I gave up on too soon when I was younger.
Yeah, well, I completely 100% agree. What's the second R?
Well, the second one's being resourceful and identifying and adopting new ideas. And we have a culture on the left that's perpetuating this idea that human nature is evolving. And if that's the case, then none of the wisdom of the ages applies, because we're different people. But I would advocate that human nature is the same today as throughout history. And if that's true, then the wisdom of the ages are at our fingertips. And I believe that smart people learn from their experience, but brilliant people learn from the experience of others. And so be resourceful. Take advantage of those other people's lives in helping your own success.
I love that one a lot, because I think you're 100% correct in that we don't change. People have not changed. The tools we use, I would use the internet. I think it was started for a great idea. It's a great idea. Facebook is an example. It can put us all closer together, share pictures with family and friends, and it becomes this terrible thing because bad people will find a way of using that resource and using it in a bad way, to the point now people get, the internet's almost scary to be on at times. I think you're absolutely right, but identifying and adapting to those and knowing what's working and what doesn't and how it'll affect people is brilliant. And how about your last?
And the naysayers, most of the naysayers are people who've not accomplished anything. And they'll criticize, and a lot of times it's out of envy because they haven't accomplished anything. We cannot listen to them. If we want to do something, we have to listen to our inner soul and go for it and relentlessly pursue that. And so Churchill said, success is not final, failure is not fatal, never quit. And so it's the courage to continue that counts. And, as he said, never quit, never quit, never quit, never quit. So that relentless pursuit, if we'll do it, we may not reach our ultimate dream, but we'll reach higher than we would if we didn't do that.
See, I love that. It's a very graduation-y kind of conversation we're having here for graduates that are going on. I just had a conversation with the gals in my church group, and they're all in high school. And you're talking about never give up on your dreams. I believe your dreams can change. Maybe I'm a little nutty here. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. But these young ladies, 16, 17, 18 years old, what are you going to be when you grow up? Where are you going to school? And they have to pick a pony, right? I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a thing. But maybe that'll change. It's good for now. Go for that if that's what you want. But maybe you're going to get a class in college that says, wow, I really like sociology, whatever it would be. There's nothing wrong with that. Just go at it a full 100%. Am I wrong? I mean,
no, you're absolutely right. And our lives are an accumulation of our experiences and knowledge that we gained. I did things totally unrelated to this, but things that prepared me for writing the books and doing the radio hits and things of this type nature and speaking. All of life's lessons accumulate, but one of the things I think you have to do is look for the lessons in every experience.
Yes.
A lot of people have the experience, but they didn't really look for the lesson in it that they could use later.
See, and I look, and maybe I'm wrong, I'll dissect you just for a second. I want to look at your books behind you and the evolution of those books. You were a business guy, right? I mean, that's what you were, a successful business guy. You did things. Some tragedy came in your life. That tragedy came to a couple of very unbelievable books that can help a lot of people in that tragedy. And then out of that, you've become quite the author in a lot of different ways, but it took building on it, right? I mean, you changed. You're not just, I would presume if somebody asked you who you are today, well, I'm a business guy. That might have been what you said 30, 40 years ago, right? But it's not anymore. You've evolved through the different things that have come through your life.
Well, yes, and I think that's how each of us can be the best person we can be for our entire lives.
Yeah.
Is take those things we experience and learn, and then take the opportunities that come to us and make the most of them to be the best person we can and influence the most people we can today and beyond.
Yep. Navigating Life's Journey is the book we're talking with today, and that's where that came from. You'd love this book if you want to pick it up. You had something about Mark Cuban.
Well, yes, and what's interesting about him, everyone knows him as a successful business guy and owner of the Dallas Mavericks and everything. But what a lot of people don't know is he failed multiple times before he became a success. He was a computer sales, short order cook, sold newspapers, bartended, sold garbage bags, all of these different things he did not succeed at, but he relentlessly pursued his desire to be successful until he found something he succeeded at. And I think it's a great example for all of us to live by and use for inspiration.
Absolutely love that, my friend. And you want to get caught up to times if you're listening to what Mr. Battle's talking about. You have to get today, AmeriCANS, Who Made America, 18th Century Birth of the Republic. Richard and I, history guys, I just absolutely love this history book. I would say from 5th, 6th grade, your 5th grade is a smart kid. It's easy enough to read, but it's going to teach them stuff that, they wouldn't get in your regular history books. This is a great foundation. Get it today because the 19th century is coming up on us pretty fast.
Well, I appreciate that. I got complimented on a TV interview yesterday. They said I was a history teacher, which I wasn't, but I love history and learning about it and sharing those lessons that can help us today.
And they can get this book and the next one is going to be coming up shortly. Not there yet. How, Mr. Battle? How do they get it?
Well, richardbattle.com. They're all signed. If you want one inscribed for graduation, Father's Day, birthday, email me, richard@richardbattle.com. After you order, we're happy to do that. They're all available on Amazon, including audio and Kindle versions.
I love that. I love having you on the program, my friend. Do me a favor. You already sent me the thank you. Don't worry about doing that. As soon as I get on here, I'll send you the thanks. I appreciate you being on. I know I do.
I'll write next week's.
Let's just stay ahead. Got a little time in your hand next week. Send me 6 or 7, and we'll just be done. God love you, Mr. Battle. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless America.
Achieving your financial goals